trial in New York for Trump. That was political. A pardon is appropriate. America's confidence in these kinds of institutions have been damaged by these kinds of cases, and we cannot allow these kinds of institutions to be weaponized against our political opponents.
And what went wrong?
I was warning people that
Democratic Senator John Fetterman joined The View, and in the clips that I'm going to show, he was asked 2 questions in which he exposes his own party. Watch.
Senator, President Biden's decision to pardon his son Hunter is facing bipartisan backlash. Even the Democrats are all over it. But what do you think? Is this much ado about nothing? It is his son, after all, and people do have sympathy for that. But a lot of people are angry with him about it. What do you say?
Oh, well, I think it's undeniable that the case against Hunter Biden was really politically motivated, but I also think it's true that the trial in New York for Trump that was political as well too. Now it's that, and in both cases, I think a pardon is appropriate, and I really think collectively, America's confidence in these kinds of institutions have been damaged by these kinds of cases, and we cannot allow these kinds of institutions to be weaponized against our political opponents. And it's very clear both trials were politically motivated and weaponized that on the other side.
They'll say that about the J6 people too, though, right? That's what they're going to say on the other side. That is weaponized also.
I'm not referring to that. I'm talking about the New York trial. And now the Democrats on our side there were some that were gleeful, calling it like, now he's a convicted felon and those things. And now for our party, we were talking about criminal justice, and we are now talking about second chances. And now all of a sudden now you're like, well, he's a convicted felon and all these things. And now clearly, again, both of those trials, the Hunter Biden one and the trial in New York for Trump, that was politically motivated. And those kinds of charges would have never been brought unless one side could realize that they could weaponize that.
Let me ask you this, though. Since Trump's win, there's been a lot of soul searching on the Democratic side, people needing answers on what went wrong. Do you think that is helpful? And do you think there should also be some soul searching on the Republican side who need to analyze why they would nominate a convicted felon who ran on lies, threats of retribution, and concepts of a plan?
I haven't spent any of my time after the election freaking out or just thinking about. Here's where we are, and I would like to remind everybody that that's the way democracy works. I was warning people that before the election that you have the risk. If Trump wins, then he's going to get the House, he's going to have the Senate, and now you have the Supreme Court with a strong conservative slant now too. So here's we are, and for the next 2 years, Trump and the GOP is going to be able to drive this narrative. That's undeniable. That's a fact as well, too. And the last, kind of like that emergency break right now is the filibuster in the Senate. And then otherwise, they'll be able to just run any kinds of laws through Congress. And now the Supreme Court would likely back them up as well, too.
Interesting, he said, I haven't spent any of my time after the election freaking out. Unlike most Democrats who were freaking out was acting like the end of the world. This is not a shock. It's literally brought this on their own self, pushing all of these woke ideology. Things said, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Let's level up together, motivate some more people. Remember, for his glory, peace, stand for righteousness.